You're back with another one. This time we got top 10 most legendary anime fights of side characters. By VinnyTube. Make sure y'all like the video, comment, subscribe. Let's get to it.
It's never just about the protagonist. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel that anime that stand out completely on the foundation of solely the protagonist are few and far between. That's doubly true for a lot of action shows.
I was just about to be like, let me guess who's gonna be on here. So normally they put VinnyTube likes to put Fate on here, so that's a guaranteed Fate. There might be a Naruto on there because Sasuke is he? I mean, he's technically a side character, and he had a really good fight. Like Sasuke vs Datara, my favorite fight. I already saw One Piece, so Zoro gonna be on there. Full Metal, we already saw that one. Who else could be on there? I don't know. We'll see, but I'm gonna keep thinking as it goes.
Every cool protagonist you have those mentors, those rivals, those friends and whatnot who help carry the show. For me, the best action / battle
Sasuke.
titles are those that have the side characters that get
Zenitsu.
their time to shine. So today, I'm going to be giving
boy.
the spotlight to these kinds of characters. Here are my top 10 side character fights in anime. Some are amazing in the context of the story and help shed light on these characters in more subtle ways, while others are just simply visual spectacles. Let's begin.
I didn't expect anything from Genpachi, I'm be honest with you. Even though he showed him as a clip earlier, I didn't expect it.
Genpachi always struck me as a captain with presence. His fight with Ichigo and insane bloodlust make him very memorable. The weakness of that kind of character is that the character eventually stops getting ample development, becoming one note with a lack of characterization. Now, that's not exactly the case for Genpachi, and while he's got many moments that show his background and character, one of the most iconic ones, at least in the anime, come in the form of battle. How appropriate. Genpachi seems to be one of those characters who have plot armor unless they're facing the protagonist or main antagonist, so it's a breath of fresh air to see Genpachi struggle in this battle against the Espada. It's an appropriate way to insert more of his backstory and to show that he's got more tricks up his sleeve, even though literally switching to swinging with two hands feels so simple. Still, for a Genpachi fight, this is the best one.
And that was one of those things that you never really paid attention to until he did it. And you're like, yo, he really never swings with two hands. He only uses one. Like, we thought his only handicap was his eye patch. No, it's literally the fact that he's just literally nerfing himself.
To date.
I got bit when I was walking my dog, now my shins itch.
Number 9 is Katsura versus Shokaku.
I should have thought about Gintama. I should have.
Gintama is a show that has some of the strongest side characters. It's just appropriate for one of the best shonen anime out there. I can pick from so many fights, but I think it's about time we give Katsura some shine for this video. And what a journey it's been for Katsura. But in case you need a reminder that this is one badass, we have his fight against Shokaku as proof. This for me is Katsura's main highlight in the entire series, with him returning to his ingenious and badass ways in combat. The finish is also a good mix of serious and comical, with the fight being decided with a headbutt of all things. Then again, the battle has been decided before that. Like Genpachi's fight, this one serves both to establish Katsura as a combatant and add more depth to him as a character. It's these kind of fights that are the best, and I've grown to like and respect Katsura a lot more after this one.
Bro, I want to watch Gintama, but like, it's gonna sound very hypocritical coming from One Piece fan, but there's so many episodes, and it's all in sub, and it's just like, I'm like, oh. Every time I'm about to watch it, I'm like, oh. It's mostly because it's in sub. I don't really care about the episodes because I like long anime. Like, but the fact that it's in sub, and because I feel like I'm gonna watch a couple episodes and put it down for about 6 months. Because I'm lazy. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a little lazy when it comes to sub. I just don't want to sit there and read and then go back up and then I'll miss some animation or whatever. Or I'll miss especially my dyslexia be hurting me. It be hurting me. But like I'll be going forward. And I was like, dang, I missed that. Or I'll look away for a couple seconds and then be like, I don't even know what just happened. I have to go back. So it just takes so much time off of it. If the whole thing was dubbed, because I know there's a little bit of dub, so if the whole thing was dubbed, I would have been watching it.
Next is Zoro versus Killer.
I remember when Zoro had to struggle to throw out those 180 caliber phoenixes. Now he's just doing it with a swipe, just swing, 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 and they just flying out. That's how high the level he's got.
Who's your favorite One Piece side character? As far as I know, a lot of One Piece fans can't get enough of Zoro. How can they get tired of him with him being one of the coolest?
I might read the Gintama manga though. Actually, that sounds like a better. Yeah, I'm just gonna read the manga. That'll work. That'll work because I can take my own time.
Members of Luffy's squad. That
Just like I do with One
with
Piece.
how he
Like
gets
I don't
the
watch the
best
One Piece
looking fights
sub.
and the most
I'll
awesome
read the manga.
techniques. And this fight with Killer ended up being a fight to remember. The battle does an excellent job in showcasing his resourcefulness as a fighter intertwined with his bloodlust and hunger for the intensity of battle, all while giving us amazing modern One Piece animation. With the way things were presented, we got our feelings dragged deep into this fight. Much like Gintama before it, One Piece does have a knack of being funny or cartoony before shifting into high gear and giving us fights with presentation that you'd expect from a UFO table show or something like that. Zoro's still got a lot of awesome fights, but this one will have to do for the list.
Gintama manga was going since 2019. Oh yeah, no, I need
Before
I need to find where I can watch that.
Let me ask you a question. Ever also got a beer and we're down to the dragon once with him to get up to the UFO table. We have Lancer versus Assassin in our
wait, Assassin.
slot.
Am I thinking of the right fight? Yes, I am. This fight was beautiful.
Animation quality and epic music direction have long become staples of UFO table productions. Give them the budget of a theatrical production and you get insane bouts like this one. Granted, I've often talked about other Heaven's Feels fight like the Rider versus Saber one from the third film, so I decided it's time to give Lancer his dues. After all, I feel he's a grossly underrated character thanks to the memes and always dying. He still dies in this one, but at least he goes down with more fight than we've ever seen before. The Wild Chase sees him give Assassin all he can throw, and in a regular match, Lancer would have easily gotten the win here. Unfortunately, he is Lancer, and he's up against one of the driving forces for the antagonist side, so we know how that goes. Still, the showing he put up, along with UFO Table's masterful work in creating this fight for us to feast our eyes on, earned this moment a spot on my list.
I think, didn't he show up as like Lancer twice and then once as like Mage or something like
At number
that?
6, we have Vector versus Burko.
I'm thinking Fate, what was it? Grand Order, First Order, he was like a mage. It was the same character design. I don't know if it was supposed to be the same person, but
In isekai titles, it's often the main hero who gets all the shine. In a large part of SAO, this is proven true. That's none more evident than what War of Underworld's climax ended up amounting to. However, in the same arc, we do get to see the Integrity Knights pull their weight, with the most iconic being their leader, Berkoli. It's leader to leader as Berkoli fights Dark Emperor Vector in what was, to a lot of people, War of Underworld Part 2's high point. He finds himself grossly outmatched but can clutch a win against the Dark Emperor himself by showing off the full power of his super broken sword. What brought this fight up was the huge bump in art and animation quality. SAO's great in the presentation department, and things went up a whole notch for the WOU fights, this being the most striking example of them.
slashed your past. What kind of OP? Bro, no, that's disgustingly broken.
Versus Risotto.
Yo, I was so mad. I was hoping Risotto won. I was just like, come on. I love Risotto. Risotto is such a cool character. And his metal ability. Let me use the metal in his blood.
JoJo's known for its frankly insane fights, and even the side characters get to join in on the fun too. Don't you get excited to know what happens when you put some of the side characters' powers, many which are far more interesting on paper than the ones carried by heroes, against each other? Here we have Metallica versus King Crimson being wielded by Risotto and Doppio respectively. The fun thing about this fight is that despite King Crimson's very fearsome reputation, Doppio plays the underdog for the most part of the encounter. Well, it's just a part of King Crimson, but still. The battle between Risotto's iron manipulation and one of the most fearsome stands is a sight to behold. A third stand, Aerosmith, ends up being the deciding factor in the battle that was sorely going in Risotto's favor. In the end, it's more of what you'd expect from JoJo fights. A lot of stuff happening and the anime team having the time of their lives hamming it up.
That's why I didn't really care for Narancia. I'm be honest with you. Killed Risotto. They could have saved so much problems if he just stuck away. Just like, bro, killing the boss was both their goal, and Narancia had to go ruin it.
A lot of stuff happening and the
I really liked this season because the villain wasn't like disgustingly overpowered. He was more smart than disgustingly overpowered. I mean, he was. I forgot what his power was. What was his power? P-O-R-O-R. Crimson. I don't know how to spell crimson, so I'm guessing. That's an M. That's supposed to be an N. Is that how you spell crimson? That was not. There's no H. Okay. When it's in the series, both physically strong but the same ability to erase time and predict the future. Okay, that's why. That's right. King Crimson. Then I thought they called him Emperor Crimson in the dub. Yeah. Okay. I wasn't tripping. Okay, there was Emperor Crimson in the dub.
Anime team having the time of their lives hamming it up.
崖の上にいる呼吸は一人だけです。お前の呼吸だけだ。リゾット。
Hate you, Naranja.
King Bradley versus Scar is rank number 4.
He has such a cool ability too. Literally, Stan could control the metal. He covered himself in blood and changed in like.
Scar's always been an enigma,
Turned
a
invisible.
great rival character to follow, and one who never fails to make an impact. That's why it never came off as strange for me to have him face off against probably the most overpowered homunculus. Against King Bradley, Scar really had to work for the win, putting out all the stops, and even then it's barely even enough. We've got a lot of good exchanges, with one of the more notable parts of it from a character perspective being Scar using alchemy to reconstruct matter, breaking his own code as an Ishvalan. Scar has gone through some big character developments as the series has gone on, and along with those moments comes this amazing fight, which feels like Scar's last hurrah as a fighter. He had his last hurrah in one of the most glorious ways possible, taking down Wrath himself.
And you know, the crazy part is it's not even like he did all that without even using alchemy to begin with. He had to use alchemy to win. But like if they knew he could, if King Bradley knew he could use like the other side of alchemy, it would have been over. And he still only got this far.
Top 3 belongs to Rengoku.
Fear King Bradley was a beast.
Ah, Rengoku. For such a short time that we got to know him, Rengoku sure made the most of it to give us a mentor character to remember. He started the train arc being a man of mystery, and while he seems quite nice and jovial, it isn't until later when we see how amazing he can be. Sure, overcoming Enmu's dream is one thing, but I know we're all here for the Akaza fight. An epic conclusion to a movie that sees 2 top fighters trade blows with such intensity that no one else can keep up. All done in the epic animation and music that people have come to love Demon Slayer for, and more. Despite everything, Rengoku still can't beat Akaza, but there's still triumph in defeat. Moral victories at that too. Danjiro sure felt that way, and I'm sure a lot of us do too. Demon Slayer does a good job in crafting endearing characters in limited space, and thanks to his cool, friendly attitude as well as this visually spectacular fight, Rengoku ends up being proof of that. In second place, Obito.
Oh,
versus
okay.
Kakashi.
I should have guessed Obito versus Kakashi. Literally, this has been on like 6 of 6 of this ViniTube's list. So I was thinking like Sasuke versus Data or Sasuke versus Killer B. Maybe even Guy versus like Kisame. That would have been good on here too. Or Guy versus Madara. There are so many good side character fights. Oh my gosh, now I just realized
like
it.
the culmination of a storied rivalry that kind of runs parallel to Naruto and Sasuke's
Kakashi
intertwined
versus
tale.
Pain.
It barely has enough screen time to compete with the latter
Minato
in terms
versus
of build-up and
Obito.
legacy, but I knew from the moment their flashback was shown that the two would somehow find themselves at odds in combat. I didn't buy
Kakuzu and
Obito's
Hidan
supposed demise
versus
completely, and thank goodness I'm
Shikamaru
right, because
and his
this
team.
fight is insane. We've seen how powerful Obito is as Toby, being the catalyst for a lot of the key moments in the series' history, and to see him finally
When they
breaking
killed
out the
Asuma,
Toby disguise and
when Naruto
settling
showed
things
up
with
and saved the day.
Kakashi once and for all was so hype. Also, propping the fight up is the fact that this is Kakashi's most important battle in the entire series.
Sakura versus
Despite not
Ino,
having as much
Chunin
on-screen
exams.
history as the top fights in Naruto, the actual fight and anticipation more
was a
than
joke,
made
that was
up
a
for
joke.
it
I'm playing,
as we're
I'm playing.
treated to 2 blitzing their way in attempts to work around each other's abilities.
Shikamaru versus Tamari. Now that was a
Finally,
good fight.
The best side character fight I have is Netero
Okay.
versus
Meruem,
Meruem.
yeah, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. This one also has a lot of. Is Killua a main character or a side character? Because I think if you're not the main character, just like Naruto and Sasuke, I feel like Sasuke's a side character because Naruto's the main character. So Gon, he's the main character, and Killua's a side character. So you could put a lot on there. But like any fight with Hisoka that didn't involve Gon, Gon was around for most of the show. So this show doesn't have that many side character fights. Actually, now I think about it. But P2, what is it? Not P2.
This is a fight that a lot of people remember Hunter x Hunter for.
Man,
but
dang.
is it a hot take if I were to
Gon
say
was
that
there
in
for
terms
everything
of
I'm
a pure
thinking of.
fight standpoint, the show has a lot of other candidates to take the crown? No, that's not a shot at the fight itself, but there are other impressive battles in this excellent shonen title. Why is it number one, and why did I choose it for this list then? Because of its thematic power.
Zoldyx
Meruem
versus
barely
Frollo,
fights
that's a
back,
good one.
and as a
Even though it didn't
battle, it
finish.
sure feels relatively
walked out-
anticlimactic
walked
given the
out 'cause they
people
weren't getting
involved,
paid
but I
anymore.
think that that's the beauty of it. It's what made the fight feel original, something that Hunter x Hunter does so well with its track record in subverting shonen tropes. It also does a great job of building up Netero, adding the dimension to his character about wanting to fight strong opponents, all while he goes down in a blaze of glory. The fight itself is great presentation-wise, as with most of the remake Hunter x Hunter, but the best fights I feel are the ones with emotional stakes that help flesh out characters. And with that regard, this is one of the best examples out there, making it my number one side character fight in shonen anime.
And the best part is Netero didn't even win. It was a draw. Literally, it was a draw. Like, Netero didn't win. He had to use the bomb inside him.
So those are
He was really stomping him out. Ooh, I believe I cannot pray with a single arm. One of the best lines in anime history. Which one was that from? That one was Netero, right? Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was Netero. Because he lost his arm, and yeah. My guy versus Madara should have made the list. IMO guy might not be able to finish Madara off, but he was damn close. Honestly, I think it's just because he's biased by Benitsu's biased by Obito versus Kakashi, because it was a really good fight, and it's one of his personal favorites because I've seen it on a list a couple times of his. So I'm not mad at it. It's just like, yeah, I don't think he's gonna put anything else over that. Nothing about the bodiless malice of the human heart. That's exactly what I was thinking of when Netero was about to blow himself up. Not about to, but like when I was talking about it. All Might versus All for One. Yes, bro, that could have been on this list too. That definitely could have been on this list too. What could have replaced? They could replace this one because I haven't seen it. That's probably, I don't know. Sword Art fans might be mad at me. Kenpachi one could have been replaced, but I don't think there's any. There's a lot of fights that Bleach could have had also. Could have been like I swear Ichigo's never around. Ichigo is like Goku. Like, he's literally never around. So all the fights happen are just with side characters. Bleach is carried by side characters, just like Dragon Ball Z. Carried by side characters. Yeah, I hope y'all enjoy. Make sure y'all like the video, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Bye.